Hey everyone, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. All right, so let's talk about Super Bowl LIX. The Philadelphia Eagles just won their second Super Bowl in 8 years, defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. And I gotta say that score doesn't really reflect just how dominant the Eagles were, especially against a team like the Chiefs, who are known for their explosive offense.
Yeah, the Eagles' defense was the real story of this game. They just had a game plan that completely neutralized the Chiefs' offense, held them to a season-low point total.
What impressed me the most was how they achieved that dominance. I mean, 6 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, and 6 tackles for loss, all without needing to blitz. It's incredibly rare to see that level of pressure generated by just a 4-man rush in the NFL.
Yeah, Vic Fangio, the Eagles' defensive coordinator, really outdid himself with the game plan, clearly understood the Chiefs' offensive tendencies, and, exploited their weaknesses. And it wasn't just the veterans on defense who stepped up. Rookie cornerbacks Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean played key roles. DeJean even scored a pick 6 off Patrick Mahomes, which really shifted the momentum of the game.
Right. For those who might not know, a pick 6 is when a defensive player intercepts a pass and runs it back for a touchdown. And that play really felt like a turning point in the game. But to be fair, the Eagles' defense was consistently strong all season. They allowed the fewest passing yards in the league, so this wasn't just a one-game fluke.
No, their ability to just stifle opposing passing attacks was a major factor in their success this season. This Super Bowl win was really a culmination of that defensive strength.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit and talk about the Eagles' journey to this Super Bowl victory. It wasn't always smooth sailing for them, was it?
No, they had their share of ups and downs. They started the season strong, but then hit a rough patch mid-season. But they managed to turn things around and finished with an impressive 10-game winning streak.
Yeah, and let's not forget about Jalen Hurts' late-season injury. Having to rely on backup quarterbacks Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee during a playoff run, that can't be ideal.
True, but their running game, spearheaded by Saquon Barkley, was absolutely instrumental in helping them overcome that hurdle.
Barkley was a force of nature this season. Not only did he become the NFL's first 2,000-yard rusher since 2020, but he also shattered the record for most single-season rushing yards, including the postseason, with a mind-blowing 2,504 yards. Just a testament to his unique blend of power, speed, and vision.
Yeah, his performance was truly remarkable, and it highlights a key strength of this Eagles team, their resilience. They didn't let adversity derail their championship ambitions. They adapted and found ways to win.
Okay, now let's shift gears and talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. They came into this game with high expectations, riding a 15-game winning streak. But they just didn't seem like themselves on the field. What do you think contributed to their struggles?
Well, this wasn't their most dominant season. Despite the long winning streak, injuries played a part, especially to key receivers like Rashee Rice and Marquise Brown. They missed having those offensive weapons.
It seemed like for much of the season, they relied heavily on Patrick Mahomes' ability to just make clutch plays in close games. But that strategy finally caught up to them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the loss exposes some areas where the Chiefs need to improve. They have an aging roster, and several key players are entering free agency. They have some tough decisions to make in the offseason.
So both teams are facing important decisions as they head into the offseason. What are some key areas each team needs to address?
Well, for the Eagles, retaining their defensive stars will be crucial. Players like Josh Sweat, Zach Bowen, Avonte Maddox, and Milton Williams are all entering free agency. And then there's the question of veteran players like Brandon Graham and Lane Johnson, who might be considering retirement. Replacing their experience and leadership would be a challenge.
And what about the Chiefs? What are their priorities?
Well, the Chiefs have some major offensive holes to fill. Rebuilding their receiving core is a top priority, especially with so many receivers hitting free agency. And they need to solidify their running back situation with Kareem Hunt and Samaje Perrine's contracts expiring.
Sounds like both teams will have a busy offseason ahead of them.
Definitely. Their decisions in the coming months will have a significant impact on their future success. But for now, Eagles fans can celebrate this hard-fought victory. They showed incredible resilience and determination throughout the season.
Absolutely. Their ability to overcome adversity and peak at the right time is what makes this championship so special.
Yeah, their defensive performance in the Super Bowl was truly remarkable, a testament to their talent and coaching.
This victory definitely has implications for the league as a whole. We'll talk more about that and what the future holds for both teams in just a moment.
This Eagles victory raises some interesting questions about the current landscape of the NFL. For a while, it seemed like offensive firepower was the only path to a Super Bowl title. But the Eagles have demonstrated that a dominant defense can still be a game changer.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if we're witnessing a shift in the league. Could we see other teams prioritize building strong defenses rather than just focusing on assembling star-studded offenses?
It's a possibility. Teams may start realizing that you don't necessarily need to score a ton of points to win championships. A suffocating defense can disrupt even the most potent offenses, as the Eagles showed us.
Right, and a greater emphasis on defense could lead to more low-scoring strategic battles, which would be a fascinating change of pace from the high-scoring shootouts we've become accustomed to.
It would certainly add another layer of intrigue to the game. Now let's talk about what this win means for the future of both teams, starting with the Eagles. They've now won 2 Super Bowls in less than a decade. They have a young core of talented players and a proven coaching staff. So what's their outlook?
Well, the future looks bright for the Eagles, that's for sure. They've proven they can compete and win at the highest level. But as we discussed earlier, they do have some key decisions to make in the offseason.
Right. Retaining their defensive stars will be paramount if they want to maintain this level of dominance. They also need to navigate their salary cap situation carefully to ensure they can keep their core together.
And let's not forget the potential retirements of veteran leaders like Graham and Johnson. Replacing their experience and leadership won't be easy.
No, those are challenges every successful team faces. It'll be interesting to see how the Eagles manage these transitions. Now, on the Chiefs' side, things are a bit more complex. This loss could signal a turning point for their franchise.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is still in his prime, but the supporting cast around him is getting older, and they have several key players heading towards free agency. It seems like their window of opportunity might be closing with this current roster.
It's definitely a possibility. The Chiefs need to make smart moves in the offseason if they want to remain contenders. Rebuilding their receiving core is a top priority.
And they can't afford to neglect their running back situation either. Finding a consistent and productive backfield will be essential to take some pressure off Mahomes.
Yeah, they also need to address their offensive line issues. Mahomes was sacked 6 times in the Super Bowl. That's not sustainable if they want to protect their franchise quarterback.
It sounds like they have a lot on their plate this offseason.
They do, but they have the advantage of having Andy Reid, a brilliant head coach and a front office that has a track record of making shrewd decisions.
And of course, they still have Patrick Mahomes, one of those talented quarterbacks in the league.
Right. You can never count out a team with Mahomes leading the charge, but even he needs a strong supporting cast to succeed consistently.
So the upcoming offseason will be a crucial period for both the Eagles and the Chiefs. Their decisions in the coming months will shape their trajectories for the next few seasons.
For the Eagles, the goal will be to build a dynasty and maintain their position atop the league. The Chiefs, on the other hand, need to reload and find a way to stay competitive in a rapidly evolving NFL.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it all unfolds. This Super Bowl reminded us that the NFL is a league of constant change, where fortunes can shift dramatically from one season to the next.
That's what makes it so compelling. There's always a new storyline, a new challenge, a new team vying for supremacy.
You know, this Eagles victory with their dominant defense, stifling a high-powered offense, prompts us to consider the future direction of the league. Could this be the start of a broader shift in the balance of power, where defense becomes the key to winning championships?
It's an intriguing question. It's certainly possible that more teams will prioritize building strong defenses, realizing that they don't necessarily need a high-flying offense to win a championship.
Right. Perhaps we're entering a new era of defensive dominance, a return to a more fundamental style of football, where toughness and discipline reign supreme.
That would be a fascinating development. It would change the strategic landscape of the game, potentially leading to more defensive battles and lower scoring games. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out.
And now we want to pose a question to you, our listener. What does this Eagles victory and their defensive dominance mean for the future of your favorite team? How will they adapt to this potential shift in the NFL landscape?
Yeah, think about it. Are they built to withstand a defensive onslaught like the one the Eagles unleashed? Or will they need to make some changes to stay competitive in this evolving NFL?
Right. Do they need to bolster their offensive line to protect their quarterback? Or perhaps invest in a shutdown cornerback who can just lock down opposing receivers?
Maybe they need to find a running back who can grind out tough yards and control the clock, keep their defense fresh and off the field.
These are all critical questions that teams will need to address in the coming months. You know, the Eagles have shown the league that defense can still win championships.
It's a blueprint that other teams might look to follow. We could see a resurgence of defensive-minded coaches and a renewed emphasis on building strong physical defenses.
This Super Bowl victory has sent ripples throughout the NFL, challenging conventional wisdom and forcing teams to reassess their strategies. The Eagles have ushered in a new era of uncertainty and excitement.
The balance of power has shifted. The future of the NFL is wide open, and it's going to be captivating to witness how it all unfolds.
And that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at Super Bowl LIX and its implications for the league.
As always, we encourage you to continue exploring, analyzing, and engaging with the ever-changing world of the NFL.